everyone, and welcome back to another live stream. So today, it's another React live stream. I think I will do every 2 weeks. I will make a reaction live stream, and then all the other 2 weeks I will make an animation live stream. So where I will animate. Because last live stream I started to make full body animation, a Star Wars animation, and yeah, this time I want to react again because I know that a lot of you want to show their animations, so that's why today is a reaction live stream, and then next week will be another animation live stream where I animate on the full body animation, and then again with reaction, and then animation, reaction, animation. Yeah, this is my plan for my next live streams. Yeah, so welcome. Yeah, of course, you can send me your animations on Discord. As I can see, someone already dropped an animation into Discord. That's wonderful. In a few seconds, in a minute, I will react to it. But first of all, I want to share the link of Discord in the chat so that everyone who's not in the Discord can join. Let's see. So there we go. I posted the link in the chat. Yeah, perfect. And now I think let's see, I still need to check the chat. Yeah, everything works. Okay, let's go. Okay, someone said 6'7". Yeah. Maybe I'm a little bit too old for that joke. Okay. Yeah. I think I really need to start to react to the first animation. Let's go. Okay, that looks pretty clean. That looks very clean. Let's watch this again. I really like this one. Yeah, pretty cool combo. Really nice. I really like the fast pacing. Really like the these speed lines, especially at this point. I think they work pretty well in the animation. Yeah, pretty cool with this yellow impact stuff. So it shows the impact. My character, I really like that. And yeah, I really like the combos. I think the footwork also works pretty good. I mean, there's not much movement on the footwork, but it works because movement on the foot is not too much, so the viewer is more focused on hand-to-hand combat. And yeah, when you focus too much on the footwork, I think it's also too much animation you have to do. And yeah, but still the footwork looks very clean. Also very realistic. Hand-to-hand combat, pretty fast. I like this one. Yeah, the start's good. Very good first animation, I think. So, there are another two animations I did recently, and the first one is unfinished. I finished it, but the full version has a lot of cursing, so I can't post it without getting banned or timed. Okay. I don't know what this means, but let's see what the unfinished version looks like. Okay. Very cool. Really cool movement. Looks like a breakdance. Is it could be a breakdance, but it also could be like it reminds me a little bit of Sanji from One Piece fighting just with his legs. Um really like that he's constantly spinning. A pretty cool style that the character also is, so you can see the foot is very close to the camera. I really like that, especially this one, the spin. Um, yeah, I really like that. It feels pretty 3D because a lot of times we see the feet very close to the camera. Um, yeah, very cool. Pretty good animation. Hey, what else do we have here? It's a pretty fast animation. Okay, I think I can tell a little bit what's going on. I think the camera movement is it's pretty good because we're focusing on this guy who's using like a purple fire breath. And then the camera switches to the other guy. And then we follow him. Impact frame looks pretty cool at the end. Really like the red and black combo of colors. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I think the camera work is pretty nice. It's a little bit too fast. I think, yeah, you said it's not finished. But if you do more, would be pretty nice because at the moment I can't really tell what is going on. I can guess that he's breathing. He's doing like a purple fire breathing. Yeah, but I really like the camera movement here. And the drawing looks clean, I think. Yeah. Okay, you have another version. Ah, okay. That's the breakdance version, but with the other character. With fire this time. Also pretty cool. I really like the shaking camera. I think it fits the movement of the stick figure. Yeah. Very cool. I like that one. Okay. Um let's look at the other animation. Animation made by Max. This is my second best. Let's see. Your second best animation. Yo, it's pretty smooth. You use a lot of frames, I think. Okay, the first punch, really nice, because it is like a punch separated in two phases. We have the first punch, we have the first impact, so the first contact when he's actually punching the guy with the impact frame, and then after some frames, there's the second phase of the punch, and he's pushing him away, shooting him away with his punch. So I really like that you use a lot of frames. That's pretty nice. I think especially for the second phase. So right here, it's pretty good that you use a lot of frames. But then when he shoots away and his arm goes from the punch to like a throw. So he's moving his arm downwards. I think this should be a little bit faster. Maybe less in-betweens, less frames for this animation. So the final execution of the punch feels faster and with more power. So maybe I know you know what I mean when you see the animation in motion, because you see there are a lot of frames before the guy actually flies out of the picture. Yeah, I think it should be a little bit faster, but the other animation, especially when he flies away, I really like that you also change perspective. It's also pretty cool how they connect. So he's like bumping him with this impact, with this dart-like impact frame. It's pretty cool. It's like, yeah, it's like a target symbol. Also very nice. And the cloud animation. I really like how the cloud builds up. You see the first frames are very different from each other, and the cloud is like in 3 frames, the cloud got pretty big, and then later it only gets a little bit bigger from frame to frame, which is a pretty good cloud animation. Because we have this explosion, which is pretty fast, and then when there's a lot of dust, a lot of cloudy shapes, then we have a very slow animation. So this is pretty cool. I really like that they come out of this. I really like that you combine this with some camera movement, and also this one looks pretty clean. I really like this is so smooth. The line work is very smooth. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's all I can say for the animation. Very nice. So, let's move on. An animation made by Atari. So let's see. Okay, it's like a animation for his name. Maybe like an intro. Yeah, pretty cool. I really like how he spawns into the scene, the character. That's pretty nice. Especially with the speed lines right here. That's pretty cool. I really like it looks like a tornado, so I really like that you changed style of your speed frames. Also pretty good with this. You see the speed lines, and because he's so fast, then in another frame you can't see him, and then the speed lines are bigger, and then he spawns. I really like how we can almost see him more clearly, but then in the next frame we can see him clearly. Yeah, I really like this animation when he comes into the scene. Looks pretty good. And I think when he moves his arm up, this should be a little bit slower, or maybe with less speed lines, a little bit smaller speed lines maybe. Because they look a little bit too much for this little arm animation, if you know what I mean. Maybe a little bit less speed lines. Speed lines are good, but you see there are 2 frames, and the problem is sometimes we only need 1 frame with speed lines to make it look clean. And I think if you only used 1 frame for speed lines, and you also see that these 2 frames, they look a little bit different, so that the movement of the arm, it feels like he's moving his arm a little bit unnatural. So maybe only 1 frame with speed lines, and then he moves his arm up and make the speed lines a little bit less, a little bit smaller, and yeah. And we have like also when he dashes away, also this works pretty good. At this moment, the speed lines are perfect. And yeah, because of what he did, he changed the name, or he cut the way. He gutted his name a little bit in half. Maybe it also would look cool because you right now on your name you have like these lines. It looks like your name got cut or made some slices. Would also look cool when there are actual slices, when you can see the background in some parts in your name, because he cut your name. Yeah, I think the animation is pretty good. The only thing I had to criticize was the arm movement, but overall no problem. Really, that's no problem. I really like the animation of you. Okay. What do we have here? A quick animation test. Maki versus Noya. Noya. Oh, it was from JJK. What was his name? Noya? Yeah, I think. Hope you enjoy this animation. Okay, let's see. Okay, pretty cool after images. Oh, cool background movement. I like that. Ah, okay, and the end was I really like your background animation. Works pretty well. Very cool. I think sometimes draw your stick figures a little bit more clearly. I know what you want to do when they're like this. I mean, in some frames, when they're very distorted, when they're very, yeah, when you can't really tell it's a figure or what is that. That's absolutely no problem, because in some frames I also do that. When they're very fast, we're drawing like several lines, and yeah, at the end the stick figure doesn't look like a stick figure anymore. But when you do it too much, like right here a little bit, I think I know what you wanted to do, but maybe make the head of the stick figure a little bit more clear. And then we can tell, okay, where is what part of the stick figure. I think it's pretty cool when in a lot of frames we have this speed lines for the stick figure, because it's so fast and we have a lot of animation going on. I really like that. But yeah, in some frames, you have to show the character a little bit more clearer. It doesn't mean that we don't have any speed lines, I don't mean that, but just a little bit more clear. Yeah, I think it's a little bit hard to explain that, but overall, I really like the animation. It's pretty smooth. A lot is going on. Really like especially your background animation, especially at this part. That was pretty cool. Yeah, and also right here, I know what you wanted to do. You want to show this close-up of your stick figure, and then your stick figure is throwing the punch. I exactly know the scene from JJK. Yeah, but besides that, besides JJK, more talking about this animation. You want to show you the close-up of your character. In this scene, we can see the legs, the arms, and the upper body. And then when, especially in this scene, we can very clearly see every part of your stick figure: legs, torso, arms, and head. And then when we are very close, it looks like your stick figure has very small arms and a very big upper body. The problem here is that your stick figure changed a lot when you zoomed in. Try that your stick figure looks similar to what it usually looks. So especially when you want to show, I really like the camera work here. The camera work is absolutely amazing, but I think it would look way better when we can clearly see it right here is like a fist. Because right now we can't really see a fist. We can't really see a stick figure. So make your stick figure more clear, and then your animation feels so much better. The camera work and the impact is perfect. Also like the different perspectives for the punch. Yeah, I really like that. Yeah, right here we can actually see the fist. This is like more clearly for a stick figure. But for the close-ups, you need to try to make to also show this more clearly. Yeah, so your animation is very good. The camera work is absolutely insane. I really like the speed movement and the speed lines. It's pretty cool. Also, the after image is very well done. Yeah, just make your stick figure a little bit more clear, and then you're doing good, I think. Okay, I think one of you want to join the Discord and you can't see the link, so I will send you the link again. So let's go. There you go, there's another link. Yeah, so right now there's a link in the chat, so now you can join. And we have a lot of more animations to go. Another animation made by Coral Creator, Dark with a Slide. Wait. There's music. Did I mute the music? Yes. Because of YouTube, I need to mute music sometimes. Yeah, okay, let's see. Dark versus Light. Okay. An interesting portal. The Void. I really like the portal effect with the tentacles coming out of the portal. And he's stopping him. Oh, pretty nice speed effect. Worked very well. I like that you cutting a lot of the time. So we switch back and forth between different scenes. I really like that. Oh, what's going on? Okay, no way that the stick figure actually said the same thing that I said. Yeah, okay. The stick figure actually is in my mind. Oh, okay, changed. Okay, nice explosion. Yeah, maybe make the explosion a little bit longer. Take time for explosion. Yo, that was a nice oh, okay. Yeah, pretty cool. I think sometimes your impact and the speed of your animation works pretty well. And sometimes um not always, because in a lot of frames it works pretty good, but especially when there's an explosion, when they're talking, or when you're focusing on something, take your time. Do make the shot a little bit longer, because when a viewer wants to know what is going on, you have to show something a little bit longer. Very fast animations, especially in a fight, work very good, of course. But sometimes um, your viewer needs to take a breath for fast movements. And I also struggle with this. I also want to do action, 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 but yeah, sometimes we need just a brief moment where we can look at the scene, especially when when they are talking, when they are looking at each other. There needs to be more time, and then when you take your time for a scene, it tells your story you want to tell. Uh, I think it tells that more well. Yeah, that's the only thing I can say. But overall, the animation is very good. Okay. Another animation made by Max. Where do we already see an animation made by Max? What was it? Ah, this one. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. This is his best animation. Very cool. Oh, this. Yo. Okay, the sword animation with the impact. Ah, that's such a cool impact frame to see the stick figure twice. Also, like the after images. That's very cool. Um, the sword animation here is so cool, especially with these star shapes. They don't feel random. They really fit into the animation. It's very nice. And then you see that this is pretty good animation, because we have the fast movement of the sword, and then when he pulls it in, when he puts his sword back, we have very slow movement, and it feels so good to have fast movement, and then you take your time for the scene. Also works pretty well with the lines. They're getting bigger, they're moving down, or the other line moves up, moves like in a circle. And then when I think it also works so good because when the line is almost right here at the character, he puts his sword back, and then we switch to the impact frame, and then we get the cut. And it also works so well because we have another line right here that works with this line, because this line moves in an arc, it moves up, and then when it's almost here, we have the line in the impact frame, and it is like in the exact same position like the line before. And this works so well. Really like the spin right here before he puts his sword back. That's pretty cool. Very good. Very good animation. I love that. Call me crazy, but you traced Combat God from Janzu. Yeah, I swear I saw this animation somewhere. It looks, I know what you mean. It looks traced, but I'm not sure. Yeah. Hey, Tinter X, thank you for your super chat. Thank you for the $1. Thank you very much. Yeah. Hey, pretty nice for you. Pretty nice for the support. Thank you very much. This means a lot. Thank you. So, what else do we have? We have an animation by JZ Animates. Absolutely knew this guy and knew the style. He showed me a lot of animations back in the other live streams. This is my biggest project. Okay. Let's see. What's 1 minute 30? That's insane. That's absolutely insane. So is it, I think you showed some part of this animation before, but now you finished it. Yeah, okay, I know this part with the shield. That's pretty cool. I like this head animation. Works very good with the when they shoot. This is so cool. Very cool to change the perspective. Yeah, it's pretty nice. The close-up for the guns, that's also pretty good. I really like that you change between scenes. No! Toothless! Why was Toothless there? I rolled over it, okay. Okay, pretty cool. That was a twist. I really wanted that at first I thought that this tank was way stronger because he had this new technology with this barrier, with this laser barrier. I don't know how to call that. I'm sorry. Yeah, but he has like new technology, and it seems like he can't get hit by anything. Yeah, but at the end, the other guy was just bigger. There's always a bigger fish. Okay, yeah, pretty cool. A lot of animation right there, especially 1 minute and 40 seconds. That's a lot. That's a lot you have to animate there. Ruthless got lost like sorrow. Yeah. Oh my god, I didn't know that Toothless. Um, it's also like sorrow. Okay. Let's move on to another animation. Another animation made by uh done. No, I don't spell your name because I will definitely spell it wrong. I'm sorry. I couldn't find the one I was looking for, so I'm just post another animation I did for fun. That's always good. An animation you're doing for fun, always good. Pretty cool. Sonic animation, uh, pixel style animation. I always say I have no idea how to do pixel animations. Because every time I see a pixel animation, I think like takes hours, but maybe you have maybe you have a trick that it doesn't take hours. Yeah, pretty cool. I really like this scene right there. Like he's very in front of the camera, so at first it feels very 2D, and then we have like yeah, like attacking each other in a circle. Really like that. That's pretty cool. Really like the last part of this animation. It's very nice. Yeah, cool. Good one. And you had fun while animating. That's the most important part, please. When you don't have fun while animating, then try to animate something you have fun with, please. Don't put yourself into a corner and say, okay, I don't have fun, but I need to animate. Please try to do something you really have passion for it, okay? That's really important. Yeah, because animation is art and you should have fun doing art. Uh, so animation I did for fun is perfect. He's using sprite sheets from Sonic Battle. Okay. Pretty interesting to see how people have different methods doing animations. I like that. Okay, let's move on. A quick fire practice. Here we go. The fire animation. Yeah, pretty good. It's like a very short living flame. Really like what's the name for that in English? I have to search it. Match. The English word is match. Really? Yeah, I mean this small stick you can do a flame with. You know, it's called match. Ah, yeah, true. Oh my god. Yeah, I know the word matchbox. And it always reminds me of um small cars you're playing with. Um, yeah, I mean the match. It looks like a flame from a match. It's pretty cool because we have like when the flame gets turned on, we have like this small explosion. It looks pretty cool. I really like this explosion style when it looks a little bit like a ball. It's pretty nice. I also like this quick movement of the fire. Very cool. I think like sometimes your flames can move a little bit longer. So when we have like this part in the next frame, when we look at the next frame, this part is gone. I think you can draw it again just a little bit smaller this time. So we have like these flames, they're separating from the main flame. It's kind of like we have the sparks, and these sparks you can animate them in the next frame again, but this time make them a little bit smaller because they're disappearing more slowly, you know? Because at some point I think it looks a little bit too fast, and when you animate the small sparks, some small flames, a little bit more, I think this works a lot better. But overall, I really like the animation because it feels very alive. So it's a good fire animation overall. Pretty cool. Okay, let's move on. Black versus Red, part 1 and 2. I know it's kind of bad. Please don't say that. The animation is not bad. Animation is very hard to do. Every time someone does animation, it's actually crazy. Not a lot of people can do animations. So right now we are in an animation bubble. There are a lot of people who do animations, yes, but overall, there are not a lot of people who can actually do animation. So please don't say that your animation is bad. But you tried your best. That's good. Yeah, it's definitely not bad. I really like the movement. Oh, very cool. Really like this effect of his eye, I think. I think it's his eye. The first punch felt heavy. That's very positive. Um, that's pretty good. Yeah, right here, maybe focus a little bit more on your walk animation. I know walk animation can be very annoying. But yeah, maybe try to do a little bit of more walk animation. Maybe I can show you how to do a walk animation in just 4 frames. Because I really know that when you do walk animation, but it's not main point of your animation, because you just want to show your walk animation very short, then sometimes you don't want to put too much time into it. But to make your animation overall look good, you also need to focus a little bit on the walk animation. So yeah, I'm trying to connect my iPad with the stream. And maybe I can show you a walk animation in 4 frames. Let's see. So, am I connected? Okay, it looks like I'm connected, but at the moment I can't see the screen, my iPad on. Okay, wait. So Discord works, but the screen of my iPad doesn't work. Let's change this real quick. Ah, okay, it doesn't work. That's sad. Why? Why not? Nope. Okay. So last time it worked when I showed you my animation, but this time it doesn't work. I'm not really sure why. Okay. Maybe I can't show you the animation today. Really wanted to show you the walk animation in like 4 frames to make things a little bit more easy. Yeah, but it doesn't work. Okay, that's sad. Okay, no animation today. Yeah, no problem. Then, yeah, let's move on with the animation. Yeah, so I really like your animation. I really like this frame. Looks so cool. That's pretty dope. It's a very cool frame. Yeah, I really like this effect, this red effect. Very cool animation. So let's move on. We have the second part. Yo! Okay, he's fast. That's nice. Okay, you did a very good job in showing him he's pretty fast. I love animations when the character is very far away from the camera and then boom, he's very close to the camera. It shows pretty good how fast the character is. That was nice. Oh, very good punch animation. You did the so your punch animation did the arm movement feels pretty large. That's I think it's a pretty good part of the punch animation. Very cool. Oh, okay. He has also a power up. Really like the effect for the power up. Okay, to be continued. There will be a third part. I'm so hyped. This was a very good animation. And that's what I said. You are not bad. This animation was pretty good. Really. Okay, JC animates that. Now I will animate episode 2 and it might take months. So he's the guy who animated the tanks, this one. Anyways, thanks to you, Rakuto, for reacting to my animation. It's really cool when you do it. Yeah, that's really nice to hear that you like my reactions. And I really like your animations. So I see you in a few months when you finish part 2. Yeah, it takes a lot of time. I know. Yeah, and every time I I talk about some critics or at some types of animation where I say, okay, maybe you can do it better. Please don't take it personally, um, because I don't just want to watch your animation. I always want to give you some small tips for the animations. Um, so yeah, it's never personally. It's always just I want to give you some small tips. So overall, I really like your animations, and it's always just very small things um, I talk about. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Um, we have an animation or a lot of new animations. So, can you please react to my animations? These 3 animations are my best animations I made. Okay, let's go. Okay, nice. This one is especially nice because we have the wind effect. That's pretty cool. It looks like the wind effect is gets like through the character. So it actually feels like wind. It's not flat. It's the wind feels 3D because when you look closely, the wind is behind the character, but also in front of the character. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I never thought of doing that with wind effects. Because normally you have like the wind effect. Oh, and normally you have like the wind effect just in front of everything or behind everything. So in front of the background always, of course, but in front of the characters or behind the characters. But he did it like animating the wind effect. Um, yeah, it feels more 3D. I really like that. It's not flat, the wind effect, so that's pretty cool. Then for the beam, he's pretty well. He took a lot of time before he shoots his beam, and then at the end, we have this smoke animation because his hand, because of the beam, his hand was very heated. So he has like uh, cool it down, and I really like this smoke effect after the laser beam. That's pretty cool. That's a cool idea to do that. Nice. Okay. So we have another 2 animations. Let's watch them. Hey, these are like a little bit lower frames, I think, which is absolutely not a problem. I think sometimes the run animation can be a little bit faster, especially when they're very close to each other, like here. You, I think sometimes they don't need to take like 3 steps. I think he only needs to take 1 step and then he's attacking the other guy. So when they're very close to each other and you're doing like a walk animation, it's not necessary to do a lot of walking. So yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's the only thing I can say to this animation. And then we have another one from Dojo. What? No, okay. So he jumps and swings and gets up. Okay, that's pretty cool. I think what you could... I really like the swing animation. It's pretty nice. Also like how the character moves. Looks pretty nice. I think you can do like an in between these two frames. Just one in between. And then take like a little bit more time before the stick figure gets up. Yeah, but overall the animation is pretty smooth. And also right here at the start, you have like two walk animations, but he's so close to the cliff. I think he only needs one walk animation right there. Yeah. But overall, I think like the swing animation is my favorite. I really like the pose when he jumps to the other side of the cliff. That's pretty cool. I think just sometimes do a little bit more in betweens on this, and then when he gets up, just like 2 or 3 more in betweens, and one walk animation less, and then would be awesome. Yeah, I think my favorite one was this one. Absolutely. But overall, all your animations are good. But this was definitely my favorite part. Yeah, pretty cool. Thank you for sharing it. Okay. It's just moon running. Oh, okay. Yeah, absolutely no hate to the animators. Also, I see the chat is talking about One Punch Man season 3. I watched it like to episode 6, and yeah, it's not the fault of the animators. Absolutely. I mean, of course, the animation is not good. Sometimes there isn't even animation. Yeah, but really the problem is there are a lot of rich guys behind a studio, and they don't think about the animators. They're just like, okay, we know One Punch Man is pretty popular. Need a new season. Just do something in short time, and then they get their money. And that's, yeah. So One Punch Man is not the fault of the animators. It's always the fault of the people behind all the stuff. It's always the fault of the people who do the schedules. Um, yeah, it's always the big people who do bad stuff. Sadly. Okay. Um, let's take a look at another animation. How many animations do we have? Okay, a lot. Need to be a little bit faster. I'm talking a lot today. Okay, another animation made by Legend. I'm back one more time. This time it's a regeneration test animation. Cool. Yo. Was dope. That was pretty dope. That's so cool how the spine is coming out of his legs. Especially this animation when you're moving with the camera and one arm comes close to the camera, then he regenerate while moving. That looks so clean. I really like the consistently movement of the character. So cool. So cool, so clean. It's very fluid. Yeah, that's very good. I really like the animation. Yeah, so bouncy. And I really like that the camera movement when you switch from one arm regenerating and then he switches his camera to the other side, to the other arm, and then it's regenerating, and then we're back to the head. It's so cool to work around the character. That's very nice. Really cool animation. Okay. What do we have here? Mr. X. This is a small clip of a bigger project. My Weapons versus Fist remake. Okay. Pretty cool idea to do a Weapons versus Fist animation. Some parts of the clip need a bit more polishing, but I think it turned out pretty good. I think in my next scene, I want to take more inspiration from Naotoshi Shida. Okay. Let's see. Very cool running animation. Oh. Yo. That was good. That was very good. There's nothing bad I can say. It sounds like I always want to say something bad. That's not true. Yeah. I really like the animation. It's really cool. Also the combo, it's very nice. Very cool animation. I like the running animation at first is one of my favorites. Feels so. It's not just running; he jumps a little bit. You see that? For a short moment, he is in the air, and it's so cool. And the cool part about this running animation is that when he's in the air, you're drawing like a lot of frames because he's a lot more time in the air, and then when he swings and takes a step, you're doing like a more fast movement. And that's not only for this run animation, that's most of the time when your legs swing, you're having a more fast movement. And when your legs are more apart from each other, when they're more like this, then you're doing more frames because you want to show this pose uh, longer than when your legs are swinging. Yeah, I hope you know what I meant. Yeah, but I really like this running animation. It feels so bouncy. It's cool. Um, yeah, the original animation. I think I know what you meant. It was the sword animation. Yeah, I know. I also noticed it, but didn't want to say it. Yeah. Okay. Um, at this one, I needed help on my stickman moves. Okay. Ah, okay, you sent your animation right there. Okay, so I will then react to it and maybe I say something about the stickman movement. Um, and now we have an animation made by Tin Star. Yeah, I also know your animations. They're pretty cool. I really like because they are very fluid. But it's so cool when he moves his arm down. We have like this small bounce of his whole body and especially of his arms. It's very cool. It's so nice. We have like very fluid animation, and then he moves his arm up. And then when he goes down, we have like the small bounce. So good, because when you do movement of your character like this, it feels way more realistic. That's so cool. I like that. Oh, and you gave me the super chat. Thank you very much. Again, thank you very much for your support. And thank you for sharing your animation. I love your animations. They're so good. Really. Um, yeah, that's really cool. And of course, I know your other animations. I know that you're very often in the live stream. I love to see you back on the stream. Okay. Yeah, and I think someone in the chat said, "How does he manage to keep them so stable, though?" uh, that's right. They're pretty smooth. Your stick figures feel very clean. They're not rough. They're not. They always feel like they're in the same height. That's pretty good. Your stick figures drawings, especially, are very clean, and that's pretty good. Especially for this style, when you want to make like a very smooth style, focusing especially on the movement of the character, not just action and stuff like that. Then a very clean style is also so necessary, and you're doing this perfectly. You found a clean style, and that's nice. So now we're moving on to Max. Wrath of Stick. Let's see that. Oh, pretty cool breathing animation. I love when you animate breathing. That's so cool. It's also very cool perspective. Yo. Okay. Wow. Wow. So the I like the style. How he's looking into the camera. It's a pretty good cinematic scene. So that's very cool. So cool when you're doing it like with the camera movement. He's going down and we're following him going down. That's pretty nice. And then the turn, I didn't expect that the camera also turns. So we're not switching scenes, we're turning with the camera. That's so cool. Very smooth and pretty good 3D perspective. That's very nice. Then we have like, this looks so cool. We have like this upper shot. We look at them a little bit from the top. Then we move with this character. So cool. I really like this because we're in a very sandy place. I think like in a desert. And you're doing like this distorted sand-like texture on top of your stick figures. Is pretty cool. Oh, and this shot was so clean. Such a cool punch. I really like that. It's been nice that you were drawing in your background, you were drawing this line, because this white line in the background shows the way the punch is going. That's pretty cool. And it's so nice that you turn, it looks like the scene is turning because you used lines on the ground in a circle, and then also the lines on the ground move in a circle, and also your character move with the lines on the ground in a circle. And this is the way you make it look like we are going with the camera around them. That's so nice. Then you're doing this fire beam. It's so cool, especially that we go. Especially so you're doing so much camera movement here. That's so nice. Rakuto, please make a YouTube video about stickman fight animation sceneries. Okay. Yeah, I really need to think about how do I do that. Especially with camera positioning in combat. I think I did something like that or with camera positioning in combat. And you are doing a pretty good job. You said that you wanted this one. I needed help on my stick fight moves, but this one looks so clean. I'm sorry, I can't give you any tips. I need help in fights in Stickman. But why? I think this looks so clean. Okay, the only thing right now I can say, you build up a lot for this punch. But then, when he's doing the punch, nothing happens. I think when he is punching him, you need to do like more of a. You need to be something like an impact. Maybe in the background, some dust is flying around behind the character when he's punching him. Maybe a camera shake. Just something, because it was such a cool build up for this punch and nothing happens. Yeah. That's the only critique I can tell you. But the camera movement is so cool. Yeah, that's all I can say. And when you want tips for more other stuff like hand-to-hand thing, maybe I can tell you about this, but in this animation, dope. Okay, wait. I'm reading the chat. Yeah. Man surpassed Rakuto's animation, absolutely. This camera movement is so fluid. He needs to be the guy who reacts to the other animations. That's right. This is so good. Max, you are very good at this. You only build up, okay. For the punch? Yeah. I see. I see. You sent another animation. This one I tried challenging myself to animate less than 20 minutes. Okay, that's very important. Less than 20 minutes. Are you kidding me? You are drawing a dragon with camera movement in less than 20 minutes? That's insane. The hand, the claw of the dragon looks very cool. Such a cool way. The camera moves up the arm to the body behind the neck and then to the front of the dragon's face, which also looks pretty clean drawing. How do you draw clean? Full body figures in less than 20 minutes. When I draw or want to do animation, I always do very rough style stuff, and after that I'm doing the clean stuff. That's pretty cool. So the camera movement, I hope that you say that this was the hardest part of this animation. Yeah. Camera movement doing in less than 20 minutes is very good. Rakudo, you for real need to put a Hall of Fame animators. Yeah, that's true. I think he would go into a Hall of Fame in terms of animation. It's like the bro of camera movements, in my opinion. Okay. We need to move on. We need to see some other stuff. Fire versus lightning, work in progress. Let's go. Okay. That's so cinematic. Look at the background. The ground drawing is very cool. So much different layers. So much different colors on the ground. It's very nice. The lightning. Wow. Very cool. Oh, that's so good. We have like, so that the lightning is building up pretty well. I really like that you look very closely to your lightning animation. We have like this very big lightning right here, and then we have the lightning behind the character. And the big lightning right there is also building up even more. You see it's getting bigger, and it's not random. It actually, the lightning is building up. It's not switching between different drawings of lightning. It's actually building up. And then this lightning in front of the character is now very big. We can see it very close in the camera, and the lightning behind the character is now getting to these speed lines because he's about to dash away. That's pretty cool. Then the lightning goes away. We have this very big line, which also works perfectly for fast movement. Also pretty cool to work with a circle. Circle feels... Every time I see a circle in an animation, especially in an animation like this, the circle sounds like a boom. You know what I mean? When you see a circle, you look at it and you feel like boom. And what I really like about this animation is that you were animating different types of smoke animation. So we have the smoke animation where the stick figure started. And you can see that the smoke here is more it's darker because I think of the impact the character gave to the ground. There's more stuff coming from the ground that also goes into the smoke. That's why it's way more dark. And then there's a little bit of smoke behind this bigger smoke, and of course right there on top. So this one looks pretty cool. And then we have the other smoke animation that shows the way the character was moving. So you see by these shapes of this drawing of the smoke, you see that the character was moving from right to left. And now the smoke is also moving from right to left. I really like to do the two types of smoke animation in one scene by showing the speed of your character. Very cool walk animation. I really like how the red guy is walking into the scene. So nice. Yeah. Peak. So good. So good. Mappa walk animation. Yeah, that is true. Okay. Okay, another animation by Tinstar. Let's go. Oh, okay, that's cool. That's different. Yeah, but you said you canceled the animation, yeah. That's cool. It's is it like a character who's switching between different personalities? Very the animation feels very bouncy and flashy. I like that. It's cool. It's a different anime, so it's a different style of animation you made right there. I like that. That's cool. Cool animation. Nice one. Okay, then we have four animations. No, one, two, three, four. Yeah, four animations by Noobs. Let's go. Yeah. So the aura and lightning animation right there is very cool. Looks pretty nice. Also with the impact frame. Yeah, and this animation, I know this one. I know who made that. Yeah, they did a great job at doing this type of animation. I know I also did that in a tutorial. So yeah, I really like the aura animation here at the start. That's pretty cool. You were building it up very good. Ooh, some water animation. Nice. The water looks very clean. I like the colors of the water. We like that we have these bubbles were drawn very dark. And then we have like the splash water, which is a little bit lighter. The background of these bubbles looks pretty cool. And I also noticed you were doing like a mirror effect. Okay, yeah. We're mirroring the animation. That's so cool. Yo, nice water effect. Pretty good. What else do we have? We have like a war animation. The lighting on the feels pretty good. I really like the style with this um lighting on the ground. Looks pretty good. Good explosion. You have a really good sense of working with colors in your animation, and that's pretty good. Oh yeah, you're really good with colors. I see that. The lightning looks so clean. I love this. It's not red. It's a little bit more like a rose red. It's so cool. Yeah, the lightning looks very, very cool. Really good. I love that. Cool effects you did there. That's pretty good. And you're very good with colors. I said it like 3 times. Yeah. Pretty cool. How do we show our animations? You can show me your animations on Discord. I can send you the link again, of course. There you go. Now you can join the Discord and show me your animation. And now, I need to move on. Another animation made by Mr. X. I want to show the original Weapons versus Fist, but the file is too big. It's like a minute long, but I never finished it. Ah, that's sad. Test animation I did a while back after over a year of not animating. Okay, that's very important. Okay, yeah, but that's cool. Very cool how the characters are flying. This like circle. It's a pretty interesting perspective, I think. It's a very clean animation. I like that. And it's perfect that we are having like these. I think your timed your in-betweens pretty good. The pacing is very good. It doesn't feel too slow, it doesn't feel too fast. We can see the characters very clearly. Yeah, that's pretty good. And you took a lot of time before. You took a lot of time on this scene, which is pretty good. And then we're having a little bit more fast movement after the slow movement right here, or after the scene you're showing a little bit longer. So you give your viewer a little bit of time before the fast movement comes, and that's pretty good. I like that. That's nice. Okay. It's Luffy animation, is it? Yeah, nice. Okay, you watched my latest tutorial. That's cool. And you did a very good job. Yo, I also think that when the arm comes back, it also looks way cleaner than I did, I think. That's very cool. Yeah. I really like that. That's pretty cool. Very good. You watched my tutorial and you made a very good animation of your own. So nice. Yeah, I really like the animation of the arm. Feels very smooth, especially when the arm comes back. Um, yeah, very good. Okay, let's move on. Need to drink something at first. I'm talking too much. And now I'm dehydrated. So, an animation made by Uni King. Ayo, bro, ignore the bald part. Okay. Oh, the drawings. No, I like the drawings. That's pretty cool. Especially the movement right there. Oh, hey, my OBS studio lost connection. Am I still on the stream? I think so. Okay, that's weird. Yeah, I'm still on the stream. Very cool drawings. I really like the animation at the start. That's so cool. Then when the character's moving with the arms, it looks pretty clean. I really like that one. Yeah, very cool. Pretty good, especially the drawings. Really like them. So I hope you are working on this more. Want to see more of that. It's very, very cool. So let's move on. Another animation made by Mr. X. Scrapped version of the remake because of technical issues with Evis Paint. Oh. Yo. Okay, that was a very cool punch. I really liked this one. He swings his arm up, and at the exact moment when he swings his arm down, then comes the impact. Perfectly executed. I really like that you used the build up for this impact frame with the movement of the arms. It's very nice. I really like that. The impact frame is not random. It actually has a build up, and that's so cool. It's also such a cool way to show the punch. The camera moves through the eye, and then we can see the scene of the punch inside the eye, and then we're back to the punch. That's so cool. Very nice animation. Pretty cool. Okay. We have some more animations to go. Oh, it's Luffy! Yeah, it's gear 5. Am I right? I hope. That's cool. Yeah, nice. So I think one thing you can do when you want that that your background is bouncing because of the ability of gear 5. Um, I think what you can do is when he bounces on the ground, not only make some part of the background move, just draw your whole background like a wave. So right here the wave goes up, and in the part where your character is on the ground, the background goes down, and he's like in a hole, and right here it goes up. And then when he bounces up again, you do the opposite. So then it goes down right here, and he gets shoot into the sky with the background. So then you draw your wave like this. You draw it down, then up, and then down like this. And when he is on the ground, then you do the opposite. I hope you know what I mean. Yeah, but that's so cool. And another thing you can do when in drawing the background, you can draw with a darker gray color and draw like a circle or like part of a circle around your character. So it feels like your whole background is involved in the ability of the character. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Oh, pretty cool YouTube Cube animation. Very nice. Also with the wind effects of the explosion on the character, I really like that. You did some detail right here. So there's like a wind effect after he is shooting this thing, and then there's another wind effect after the explosion. That's so cool. Again, a real nice uh, aura animation. I really like that the lightning is moving around the character. So it's not just randomly on one side and on the other side and it's switching back and forth. It looks like the lightning is moving in a circle around the character. That's very good animated, I think. Also with the shockwave, you can clearly see the shockwave is moving from the character towards the camera. Very nice. That's cool. Yeah, pretty good animation again. Noobs, you're very good. Keep going. Especially keep going with your colors you're using in your animation. I think you're very good at drawing, especially. Okay, and so far, and maybe I also think it will be the last animation for today, because then I need to, yeah, stop the stream for today. So I'm always doing my streams like for 1.5 hours. So yeah, this will be the last animation for today. Thank you for all your animations you sent me. I really like them. I love to see so much different styles. That's so cool to see all your animations. Yeah, that's very nice. Okay, let's quickly check the chat before we go into this animation. Could please someone tell me where I can send my animations? Yeah, of course. I'm sorry I didn't saw it in the chat yet. Here's the link for the Discord. You can go to Discord and send me your animations, of course. So maybe I will wait a moment if you want to send me an animation. So yeah, let's watch this. Yo, that's pretty good. Very smooth. Pretty cool style. At first I thought it was 3D. But then we switched back to 2D. It's so cool. A lot of references in the animation. Very cool. Work of your camera, of your characters. They're very close to the camera all the time, but in this style, it fits. It works pretty well. And you switch very fast to different scenes. That's pretty cool. Works so well because you doesn't feel too much when you switch between your scenes. It has a pretty cool style right there. Also, your impact feels pretty good. And you see, he's switching to different scenes very fast, and especially the movement is pretty fast. But then when he's going for a punch like this, there's a lot of time he's using before we're back into the fast movement. So we have a very slow movement for the build up. So we can actually breathe in for a short moment as a viewer, and then we're back to the action. That's so cool. Yeah, pretty nice. Yeah. This was the last animation for today I was watching. Thank you for all your animations again. And then I will do, of course, make another live stream next week. But next week I will do a live stream where I will continue my animation I made on my last live stream. I also made a short where I showed you some part of the animation live stream. So yeah, next live stream on the same day, 5 p.m. it starts, and I will continue with the Star Wars animation. Really excited for it. Thank you for joining me today in the stream. Thank you for all your good stuff. Okay, I will wait a second. You will send your animation. Okay, I'm also back in a moment. We will wait for one animation because one is sending this animation. And I need to pee in this moment. So I'm back in a minute. And there we go, I'm back. So, the file was too big. Oh no! No! Really? That's so sad. It's very sad. I didn't know that Discord is so stricted to stuff, but maybe have you a YouTube link for the animation? I can also look at that. If you have a link, that would be cool. Yeah, but okay, I'm going for a wait, so I'm waiting. I will look at another animation. Oh, that's pretty cool. Hey, very clean. Yeah, of course I know this animation from Alan Becker. But you did your own stuff with it. Pretty good animation, very fluid movement. Yeah, I really like the animation and a lot of character movement you did right there. So I think it took a lot of time to do that. So pretty clean. The animation feels very alive. I like that. Okay. So sadly, the one person who wanted to share this animation can't share it. So yeah, maybe he has no link. The file was too big. That's very sad. Yeah, so he can't send his animation. The Flaring Lord, did you like my animation? Yeah, of course. I loved your animation. I loved the that it was very fluid. Your animation. So your big figures felt very realistic in how they were moving. And it was a lot of animation you did there, so must took a lot of time. Okay, so then this was the last animation for today. And yeah, thank you for joining me on the live. Then we are back next week at the same time with another live stream. So yeah, see you next week. See you in the next video. And bye bye. Have a nice day. Have a nice rest of the day. And keep animating. Ciao.